To the Kazakh nomads who lived on the vast, empty steppe, it was just land, a place of endless sky and ancient traditions. They had no idea that the Soviet government had a different name for their home, the Polygon. They had no idea that between 1949 and 1989, their land would be subjected to 456 nuclear explosions. This is the story of the Semipalatinsk Test Site, the most radioactive place on Earth. The Polygon was established in 1947 by Lavrenti Beria, the head of the Soviet atomic project. He chose the site because it was remote, flat, and sparsely populated. But sparsely populated didn't mean empty. There were dozens of villages and thousands of people living right on the edge of the test zone, and they were never warned. The first Soviet atomic bomb was detonated at the Polygon in August 1949. For the next 40 years, the site was the primary testing ground for the Soviet nuclear arsenal. They conducted atmospheric tests, underground tests, and even peaceful nuclear explosions to create reservoirs and canals. The impact on the local population was catastrophic. The people of the steppe were treated as human guinea pigs. They were never evacuated during the tests. Instead, they were told to stay in their homes and cover their windows with blankets. After the explosions, they were often visited by teams of doctors in white suits who took blood samples and performed medical exams. But the results were never shared with the patients. They were kept as state secrets. The consequences were horrific. The region saw a massive increase in cancer, birth defects, and other radiation-related illnesses. Children were born with missing limbs, 2 heads, or other severe deformities. The local water and soil were contaminated with radioactive isotopes that will remain dangerous for thousands of years. The secrecy surrounding the Polygon was absolute. The scientists who ran the tests lived in the closed city of Kurchatov, a place that didn't exist on any map. They were the elite of the Soviet nuclear establishment, living in comfort while the people of the steppe were dying in silence. But in the late 1980s, the silence was finally broken. A Kazakh poet named Olzhas Suleimenov launched a grassroots movement called Nevada-Semipalatinsk. He called for an end to nuclear testing and the closure of the Polygon. The movement grew into the first major anti-nuclear protest in the Soviet Union, drawing hundreds of thousands of people into the streets. The pressure was so great that in 1991, the government of Kazakhstan finally ordered the closure of the test site. It was a historic victory for the people of the steppe, but the legacy of the Polygon remains. The ground is still poisoned, the people are still sick, and the secrets of the tests are still being uncovered. The Polygon is a living monument to the human cost of the nuclear arms race. It shows what happens when a superpower treats its own land and its own people as expendable resources in the pursuit of absolute power. But the Soviets didn't just hide their bombs in the desert. They also hid their spaceport. In our next video, we're going to a city that was so secret, it was built in one place and named after another. The story of the Baikonur Cosmodrome.